How's it going, guys? It's David here from PhoneBuff.com, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Samsung Galaxy Note. This is actually the AT&T version, and before I go into the review, I'm just going to do a quick hardware tour. On the back of the Galaxy Note, you have an 8 megapixel camera capable of 1080p video capture. You have a LED flash. At the bottom of the back, you have your speaker grill right here. At the top of the device, you have nothing but your 3.5mm headset jack. At the bottom, you have your microphone right here, your USB charging port, and of course the S Pen, which you could pull in and out easily just like that. At the left side of the device, you have nothing but the volume rocker right here. At the right side, you have nothing but the power key. So there is no dedicated power or a camera button on this phone. And of course, on the front, you have your 2 megapixel front facing camera, your typical sensors and earpiece right here. At the bottom, you have your capacitive touch buttons for menu, home, back, and search. And of course, what either draws you in or moves you away from the Galaxy Note is the massive 5.3-inch going diagonally display that's Super AMOLED and is 1280 by 800 in resolution. So with that said, I'll go ahead and go into some of the things I dislike and some of the things I like about the Galaxy Note, starting with what I dislike. Alright, so the first thing that I dislike about the phone, and probably the most obvious, is the size. It is a little bit too big. Now, I'm not necessarily complaining about the screen size. Obviously, when you get the Galaxy Note, you're looking for that big screen. You're looking for that hybrid tablet / smartphone experience. But obviously, one of the drawbacks to this is the one-handed use. Now, I could use the bottom right of the screen, no problem. The bottom left, I could use all the capacitive buttons here at the bottom, no problem. Even the top right. So basically, I could access, pretty much everything on the phone with one hand, with the exception of the top left corner. So basically from, here up, I can't use it. So I'll go ahead and open up an app and show you, where it could be annoying. So for example, let's say I'm looking at DVDs on Flickster and I wanted to go back home. I can't really reach the home button. I mean, this is the farthest my finger will go. Of course, I could just tilt the phone with my the back of my fingers and hit the home button that way, which is a workaround, but it is a little bit of an inconvenience. So not that big of a deal. Obviously, like I said, if you're going for the Galaxy Note, you're going for that big phone screen and that tablet-like experience. But there is something else that I dislike about the phone, and that's the processor inside. It's the Snapdragon S3 at 1.5 gigahertz. It's a dual core. Now, it isn't slow by any means, but it isn't as fast as its Exynos counterpart in the international version, which is much faster than this guy, especially with a better GPU. And also considering how when it came out, I would rather have seen the Snapdragon S4 at least in this guy, because the Snapdragon S4 is also compatible with the 4G LTE, which is the main reason why Samsung opted not to include their Exynos processor in this guy. So with that said, the last thing that I dislike about the phone, which the good news is it will actually change, is the fact that it comes with Android 2.3 pre-installed. So again, considering how late this phone's come out for AT&T, I would expect it to come with ice cream sandwich. Instead, it's preloaded with 2.3.6. Like I said, an update should be coming out soon, so isn't that big of an issue. And by the time you watch this video, perhaps the update is already out, so you might be able to just cross that one off your list. But anyway, right now that's something that's a little bit disappointing. But those are the main things I dislike about the phone, which is actually good news, because everything else, I'm really happy with the phone. It compares a lot to the Samsung Galaxy S2. It's just a bigger version, if you will. But with that said, I'll go ahead and talk about the things that I like about the Samsung Galaxy Note in particular. Alright, so like I said, the Galaxy Note is pretty much the same thing as the Galaxy S2, other than the bigger screen and a few differences. And that's really what I'm going to talk about, because the cameras on the front and the back are the same. The TouchWiz user interface that you see is the same, and even the processor, the Snapdragon S3, was seen in T-Mobile's and AT&T's version of the Galaxy S2. So what do I like about the Galaxy Note? And what's different about it compared to the Galaxy S2 other than just the screen size? And the first thing, and probably my favorite thing, is the screen's resolution, or the screen's clarity. It's 1280 by 800, meaning it's an HD screen, and it just really makes everything that you look at on the phone absolutely amazing. I mean, I'll go ahead and go to the web browser really quick, And I did a quick Google search for PhoneBuff, and I mean, just scrolling through the Google results page is just, you know, amazing on here. I mean, it's so easy and so quick. I mean, I have the Galaxy Nexus with a 4.65-inch screen, yet, you know, for some reason, even though it's not that big of a difference between the two, it just feels so much better on here. I mean, it really makes me feel like I'm on a desktop more so than on a smartphone. So definitely a great experience there. Of course, watching YouTube videos is amazing as well. I'll go ahead and load up a quick YouTube video that I uploaded recently, and you know, there's just nothing like pulling out the Galaxy Note out of your pocket and, you know, showing some friends a YouTube video. You know, you guys all could huddle around the phone and, you know, all be able to see clearly what's going on in the video instead of, you know, on a tiny screen or a 4-inch screen even. I mean, it just makes a huge difference. So anyway, that's one of my favorite features. Obviously, if you're looking at this review, that's probably what has you interested in the Galaxy Note in the first place. But the next thing that I really love about the Galaxy Note is the S Pen. So the S Pen, you know, if you haven't watched a review yet, you probably think it's just your normal stylus. And, you know, it is in that sense. I mean, it works just like a normal stylus would. You could move from screen to screen. I could grab the notification bar, go to my apps and whatnot. But the key difference is, one, it has a button right here that when you press it and hold it and touch the screen, it has a totally different input. And second, the little tip of this pen and the screen allow for 256 different levels of pressure sensitivity. So I did a review and how-to on the S Pen, and I'll put the link in the description box below because I'd rather just focus on the phone, but I'll just do a quick walkthrough as far as the pen goes. So like I said, you can use it as a normal pen, but if I press and hold on the little button right here and double tap, I actually get this little S Memo Lite application opened up. And, you know, I could write something like hi really quick. And let's say I was taking notes on what I was looking at. Say I was at a website, I could press right here, look at what I was looking at before, let go, and go right back to my note and, you know, make a note about whatever I'm looking at. So pretty cool functionality right there. Of course, you could also take a screenshot by pressing and holding on the button and then pressing and holding on the screen. Takes a screenshot, automatically will open up the editor in which you could, you know, start editing the photo, and then you can save it, share it, print it, whatever. I'll go ahead and discard this guy really quick. Also, cool thing about the S Pen is it replaces some functions of the, or it replaces these capacitive buttons too. So, for example, I'll just go ahead and open up. Actually, I'll open up the Play Store, and if I press and hold the button again and swipe up, it opens up the menu. If I swipe up again, it takes the menu away. If I swipe down, what happens is it goes home. If I open this guy up again and swipe, let's say I go into the apps and swipe back, it'll replace the back function. So I don't think I did it there right. There you go. So if I swipe backwards while holding the button, it replaces the back function. So basically, these three functions are replaced other than the search key. So really cool functionality with the S Pen. And really quick, I'll show you the different level of sensitivity. So I'll just bring this guy up and show you. If I make a light, if I press lightly on the screen, I can make a line right there. So hopefully that shows, or you can see how thin that is versus that one. So it is, you know, really depends on how hard you touch the screen. So you can see this one is thinner than this line right here. Not sure if that comes through on camera, but believe me, there is a difference as far as how thin and how thick the lines are, just based off of how much I'm pushing on the screen. So it's kind of like a real pen in the sense that when you press harder, more ink is going to be, you know, put onto the memo pad. But that's all I want to talk about the S Pen. Like I said, if you want more information on that and you know, a more in-depth look at it, just look at the video linked in the description. And the last thing that I want to talk about for the Galaxy Note is the fact that the phone is still fast. You know, even though with the Snapdragon processor, which I kind of complained about earlier, it's still fast. I did a app speed or a comparison, a speed comparison against a phone like the iPhone 4S or the Galaxy Nexus, and it did beat those guys out. And also you have 4G LTE. So I'll go ahead and run a speed test really quick to show you guys what kind of speeds you could expect with AT&T's 4G LTE network. So right now I'm not in the best, or I have what, 4 out of 5 bars. So I'm not at full reception. I'll go ahead and begin the test and show you guys the speeds that you could expect. I mean, obviously every area differs or varies, but you know, as you can see right here, I'm getting what, 5.8. It's probably gonna go up to 6 megabytes down per second. So 6.6, 6.7. Obviously, those are really good speeds. I don't know what happened. The app's been crashing on me when it comes to the upload test. Doesn't have to do with the connection with AT&T. I think something's going on with the app. Anyway, like I said, you get about 7 megabytes down, or at least I've been getting 7 megabytes down where I am in Laguna Hills. I'm sure some people have gotten way higher than that, but it's been pretty consistent and it's pretty good. So really happy about the data speeds. I'll go ahead and do a quadrant test right now, just so you guys can see what this device will score. So I'll just hit, actually, you know what, first I'm gonna close out the apps in the background. So let me close these guys out. Had a whole bunch open. All right, so let's go to quadrant, and I'll just quickly run this test. And instead of making you wait through it and watch the whole benchmark do its thing, I'm just gonna go ahead and pause the video and then continue it as soon as I get the results. All right, so the benchmark is done. I'm just gonna hit yes to get the results. And right now it scored a 1697. So that's probably because I've been doing the review. It's actually a pretty low score. I usually get around 2000. You can see another benchmark that I did when I compared this phone to the Galaxy Nexus. It got 2000 in that score. But anyway, that's the quadrant score. Other things that are worth mentioning, the camera. It's good. It's not great. I think a phone like the HTC One X has a much better camera compared to the Galaxy Note. What else? The speaker quality and the call quality are pretty good on here. I mean, when I've made calls on here, it sounded, nice and clear. When I listen to music on here, it sounds perfect. So, I mean, overall, I'm really happy with the device. I mean, like I said, there's very little that I dislike about it. A lot to love about it. I just wish that, it gets ice cream sandwich sooner rather than later. And the only thing, like I said, that I would have rather seen was the S4 processor, or maybe the Exynos processor. But then again, we wouldn't have had 4G LTE. So that's my review on the Galaxy Note. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna show you a quick picture that I took on this phone just to give you an idea of the camera's quality. And I also did a 1080p video sample, so just check out the YouTube channel for that, or go on phonebuff.com. So here's a picture I took of my dog from this distance, and you can just see how clear it is. So it is a good camera, like I said. It's just not as good as the HTC One X from what I've seen so far. But overall, like I said, I'm really happy with the phone. Camera's good. The call quality, the speaker quality, the screen's amazing. The pen, like I said, makes it very unique. It gives you a whole bunch of different functions. But the main reason you get this phone is because you want a tablet-like experience with pocketable size, which is exactly what the Galaxy Note is. It does fit in my pocket. It's not the most comfortable thing at first, but because the device is pretty thin considering how big it is, it isn't all that bad. So anyway, that's my review. If you found it helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to visit phonebuff.com for more cell phone news, reviews, and how-tos. Thank you.